In India, there's growing anger over the deaths of a father and son in police custody in the southern state of Tamil Nadu.
They're being called the George Floyds of India. The death of a father and son in Tamil Nadu, Tuticorin, following allegations of police torture before sending them behind bars, has sparked huge outrage.
Let's turn to the other big story that we are tracking. The outrage over the Tamil Nadu custodial deaths in Tuticorin is snowballing. From celebrities to politicians, all have voiced their anger against the state police and the government, demanding justice for the father-son duo.
The police brutality has been taken as a trend over the country by state actors. To counter these cultures, the judiciary is going forward to prevent the custodial deaths and tortures and uphold the rights of citizens. It tries to hold the police accountable for their acts of violence by pushing forward police reforms. The constitutional bench of the Supreme Court have passed a landmark judgment over the year that seeks to prevent custodial deaths and tortures by putting in place a system of checks and balances. There are a couple of landmark cases in 1990 has tried to restrict the arbitrary power of the police. This includes the Joginder Kumar case of 1994 against the state of Uttar Pradesh and a D.K. Basu case of 1997 against the state of West Bengal. In these cases, the Supreme Court has passed the landmark judgment and it managed to secure a couple of rights to the citizens in order to protect them against custodial death and custodial torture. Through these judgments, the Supreme Court secured right to life and right to know for the accused. And it issued a set of guidelines which has effectively curbed the power of the police to arrest the accused. And it mandates the police forces to inform the accused and his immediate family members and friends prior to being arrested. And the police forces have been mandated to share all critical information with the accused, so that it can prevent the police from abusing and assaulting the accused while custody. These guidelines of the Supreme Court were codified and given legal backing or statutory support by amending the Code of Criminal Procedure in 2008. Then through the landmark of Prakash Singh case of 2006, the Supreme Court gave a major push to police reforms and it came out with a set of 7 directives. Then the state government was supposed to implement by coming out with a dedicated legislation. These all directives focused on ensuring police accountability under the establishment of grievance and redressal mechanism in order to receive complaints against the police. But unfortunately, the most state governments have failed to pass such a legislation. The implementation of the police reforms as mandated by the Supreme Court on the Prakash Singh case is often treated as a case of judicial overreach, as the Supreme Court clearly entered to the domain of the executive and legislature. But despite this, we can't ignore the fact that the only Supreme Court which has shown some interest to push forward police reforms. Such reforms have become absolutely essential to hold the police forces accountable and prevent them from releasing out the mindless acts of violence. The judiciary has even tried to cut down the opportunities available for police to use torture as an investigative techniques by relying more upon scientific investigation. The judiciary has made a deliberate switch to rely more upon evidence collected through scientific investigative technique such as CCTV footage, narco-analysis, etc. But despite these efforts of this judiciary, the custodial deaths and torture continue to occur frequently in India. And so, this is the best time for the constitutional court to realize that they need to change the practices of the magistrate. They are allowing the police forces to take custody of suspect of the accused. The local magistrate had brought the guideline that the police have to bring the accused into the custody in front of the local magistrate within 24 hours in order to seek further custody. So for that reason, the High Court and the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court should consider the change in the practices of the local magistrate in order to wipe out police brutal culture. And we have to create a movement as well as a Black Lives Matter movement in response to the death of George Floyd for the endemic to the culture.